real quick overview into how spellcasting works. And how it works, what I mean is it is currently a busted bike that is being held together with scotch tape. Basic overview, real quick. Wizard. Quote, the way that spellcasting would work on a full caster, you are trained, this is an aptitude, think of that like proficiency. You are trained with 3 spells of your choice and can increase your aptitude rank with any spell each time you level up as a wizard. Note that a spell is an arcane spell in D&D, right? But the way that I've split them up is like a spell in this game means an arcane magic. A miracle in this system is a divine magic. A rite in this spell, or in this system, is a like an occult or primal type spell. You know what I mean? So like druid is going to be focused on rites. Cleric is going to be focused on miracles. Wizard is going to be focused on spells. We're not splitting up by everybody has a different spell list right now. I have also just kind of given up hope on like spell list identity being anything that was like really super useful in defining a class. The more I get to think about that, the less and less I was convinced that it's the kind of thing I even really enjoy all that much. Because like realistically, the only class that I could look at and I was like, yeah, cool, I really like the identity of that spell list is like Paladin. Otherwise, it's like it just needed to be a divine. Just make it divine. What do bards cast? Bards don't in my system. Bards are going to be non-magical musicians. The bard identity of being the flexible spellcaster, the all-in-one, like, hey, I can choose magical secrets and do all that, you know, yada yada yada, is going to be handled by a mystic class. That is going to be like the actual red mage. Yeah, I don't like bard having spells. As a musician, I want to see magic represented in some other cool way, not the like, apparently I can just learn any spell I want to because I play a fucking sick, mean lute. Like, yeah, no, that's not for me. The way that this is working, you are trained with 3 spells of your choice and can increase your aptitude rank with any spell each time you level up as a wizard. You could focus this all into one spell and then wind up in 4 levels being a master of that spell. Cool. You dedicated yourself that hard that up to 5th level, you got aptitude with that spell. Killer. All right, cool. We're down here for it. Okay, so we'll get into what aptitude means and everything here in a second. Mana. Mana is, we're getting rid of spell slots, okay? So, mana. Your studies have revealed to you the power of mana, which you use to cast spells. You have an amount of mana equal to your logic modifier plus 2 times your wizard level. Cast ability. Your magical power is gained through a learned knowledge of the arcane. As such, logic is your cast ability for spells. We see how the mana, and by the way, I plan on getting Ross on the numbers side of this because I have an idea. Ross is the person that I can be like, hey, can you make sure that this thing makes sense? And Ross is going to make it churn. All right. Something that some of you Martialist fans would like before we get into magic real quick. I want you to notice something real quick. What's the weird thing? What's the weird thing? What's the weird thing with ranged weapons? Let's hear it, class, because I thought that this was a brilliant idea. And one of the ways in which we might be able to make the Kim Shot Alchemist work out really well. How much ammo you reload? Well, there's the ammo thing. That's also different, yes. Oh my god, what made these so modular? What is the same, or what is different, rather? If I look over here at this table, and I go look over here. No range? Haven't really messed with that quite yet. Anyone notice damage types are all handled by ammunition, and your damage die is dependent on the weapon that you use? The types are handled by, if you wanted to do like the chem shot, you can now load it up as a different, yeah, right? So you can swap out what damage you want to do with like certain magical arrows. Like you want to go all Legend of Zelda and have fire arrows. Boom. Yeah, there you go. You can actually have magical bullets. So we're separating the damage type from the weapon damage. So the weapon damage is all going to be like, okay, well, this is a strong, whatever, crossbow. Okay, cool. I want to load it up with a bunch of silver arrows. Well, the silver arrows are going to have a certain property and then, whatever, right? This way, I think ammunition is going to feel a lot more special than just a like every arrow is the same arrow kind of bullshit, you know? Plus, this is going to make magic ammunition look way cooler. So we're expanding out gear, but in talking about spells, or rather, what is magic in this system? Also remember, this system is not complete, but I don't mind going through this for like 10-15 minutes real quick. Okay. Magic in Vagabond aims to give you the tools to customize spells whenever you cast them to suit your needs. Spellcasters can create their own spells each time they manifest the magical essence. Aptitude. Beings may have a feature that allows them to gain aptitude ranks with the magical essences, such as the spellcasting one we just talked about, right? In order to cast an essence, a creature needs to have at least a capable aptitude with that magic essence. Does that make sense? In order for me to cast it, I have to have aptitude with it. How do I get aptitude with it? From a spellcasting feature. The same way that I learned spells in other TTRPGs. Right? That makes sense? And then only if I have that spellcasting feature does it allow me to further take other aptitudes, whatever. We're kind of bundling in what proficiency has been with spell slots here. So aptitude ranks will also determine the amount of mana you can spend on the thing. All right. So with a capable aptitude, you can spend like 2 mana. Trained, you can spend 4. Proficient, you can spend 8. Expert, 16. Savant, 32. I don't know. These are me throwing numbers out there right now, just to like get something working right now. This is a Ross job. We're gonna talk with Ross about that. Yeah. So casting. Mana is required. Cool. If a caster attempts to do anything with a magical essence that is described other than its described effect, or in dealing 1d6 damage of the indicated type, they must spend mana. Okay? A being without mana can't get anything out of an essence other than effects that don't cost mana. Real quick, this is like, if I know the flame essence, I can like snap my fingers and make a flame in my hand that isn't hot to the touch. And I can like do simple shit with it, right? I can make a little phoenix go, whatever, in the flame. Like little shit like that. The aim is to make like every single spell feel like prestidigitation does in 5e. All right? So like you can manifest these little tiny, miney things with it. And this is for you to like just kind of get creative with here. Rather than say, aha, you can only do these 456 spells. No, this is you make the spell you want to make. I like the idea of, cool, let's take that entire, like, magic casting table from the Dungeon Master's Guide and put that in the player's hands. That's your casting system right there. That's what I'm thinking. So, action. You can manipulate which action is going to be required for the casting of the spell. By default, all magic requires the cast action with your main action to use. A caster can change this to either their quick action by multiplying the mana spent by 2, or to their react action by multiplying the mana spent by 3. Gestures and incantations. Ooh, this needs to have a... Casting any magic requires the caster be able to perform gestures, speak certain incantations, or use physical ingredients. A holy symbol, wand, or staff can supplement inexpensive ingredients, but a caster will need to spend additional mana to overcome these other burdens. As such, a being can't cast any magic if an effect or condition renders it incapable of speech or movement, unless additional mana is spent to subtle cast. Doing so doubles the total mana cost of the casting. That makes sense? If you are muted or restricted, you can't cast spells unless you blow additional mana to cast that spell. You're quote-unquote subtle casting it. And this is also a thing that you can do to just, like, not say anything while you're casting. Everybody gets subtle spell meta magic now. It's built into the casting system. Like, bam. Anything can be a reaction warcaster for all. Yep. There we go. Duration. Unless otherwise stated, magic is cast instantly, and its effects end immediately after taking place. If a caster wants a magic or the effects of magic to persist longer, they need to spend mana equal to half the original cast cost during their subsequent focus actions. So what this means is, in order for you to maintain quote-unquote concentration, it's like focus in this system, okay? So you are focusing on the spell. While you're focusing on it, on your subsequent turns, you have to spend your free action to maintain that focus. Okay? This is something that, like, I wanted an action economy cost so that way it's something that you are remembering, you are actively doing. Okay? So you are having to focus on it, and I like the idea of, like, you're spending the resources on it. And what that also does is on later spell or later turns where we're like, you're focusing on a thing as a sorcerer, if you want to change that around, you can spend additional mana, or I don't know, maybe like it doesn't cost you anything to focus, you know? If you cast as a reaction and pay the multiplied cost, do I need to pay half that on my next turn? I would say no, and that should probably be clarified. Honestly, this is going to be so fucking expensive, it's almost never worth it to use. That is a very good point. That should not cost extra mana just because you're extending the duration. That was a good catch. So, what are the different parts of a magical essence? Each essence has an indicated school of magic. By the way, here's what they look like on a page. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Cool. This is like a whole spell. Like this right here. That's a whole spell. So, each essence has an indicated school of magic and a subheader, possibly a damage type, and a manifest effect. Essences can be used too, and then this is, I don't know, we'll get that for now. Yeah. Damage. If a damage type is indicated in an essence, it can be cast to deal 1d6 damage of the indicated damage type without spending mana, either delivering the essence as a bolt, self, or touch. This can be increased by spending additional mana, granting an additional 1d6 per mana spent to do so. So if I was going to increase the damage by 1, like 1d6, by default the spell is going to do a d6 of damage. All of them will. If I want to increase that, I have to spend additional mana to keep, like, upping the damage, right? So, manifest. Manifesting an essence can be cast without expending mana. This is just creating it. This is like cantrips, okay? Any effect that persists longer than the end of the turn requires the caster focuses on it. Delivery, this is just defining different delivery methods: bolt, cone, line, remote, self, sphere, touch. Okay? Delivery, this gives you, like, the changes to the mana cost of the spell, yada yada yada. Hopefully this is only going to take about, like, maybe 30 seconds to think about. I know at first this is going to be a big stumbling block. This is a lot to kind of take in. There's an example situation here as to what happens. I guess I'll read that. I would like to create a 15-foot sphere of flames that deals 3d6 fire damage using my quick action and focus on it, because they want this thing to maintain over a couple of turns. Let's say. So, but this is a very, very, very. This would probably be on par with a. I would say that this is probably worth a 7th level spell in D&D. A 3d6 fireball that is going to stay in an area. It's a 15-foot area that is cast as a bonus action, and you are maintaining it over time. So it is just this erupting sphere of flame out there on the battlefield. 2 mana from the additional damage, because it's doing 3d6, right? Total mana of 2. Delivery, 4 mana from the sphere's area. So we're getting, right here, 15-foot sphere, right? Total mana of 6. Action, the total of 6 is multiplied by 12, because it's a quick action, right? The total mana of 12. If the caster focuses on this spell, it will cost 6 mana next turn to focus. So overall, they've blown 18 mana to cast this thing. Now, this is a lot, and kind of the kind of power I would expect like a 10th level character in this system to be doing. Like, this is a big spell. I was intentionally writing this one to be kind of big because I wanted to, like, show where I was pulling numbers from. Any idea about doing signature spells with a slightly reduced cost? Yes. Yep. That is 100% a plan. In fact, let me show you something here. Magic users in nearly every world are known to create signature spells, giving them an evocative name and making them a go-to in their magical repertoire. Not only is this an incredible roleplay choice, it helps to speed up combat. Once you have experimented with magical essences and discovered a combination of effect, delivery, duration, and determined cost, write these down and give the effect a name so you can quickly reference them later. I am telling you right here, make a spell. Make your spell. Write down how much it's going to be, and have this be your, like, you want it to be a Kamehameha? You choose, well, I don't know, what, light damage? Sure. Light damage that I'm going to send out in a line? Boom. Like, that's what I want this to be. 120-foot line? Sure. It's going to cost me 8 mana. I want it to do 5d6, so that's going to be 4d6 plus, or sorry, 4 mana. Yeah, 4 mana plus 8, so 12 mana for me to Kamehameha. Boom. That's what that does. This will be the backbone of casting. Yeah, I think this is going to be really cool right here. Saying, like, if you want to have a spell, this, I think, is going to be worth its weight in gold. Just quickly reference this. Boom. What does that cost? 4 mana? Cool. Bam! That's the thing I'm doing right now. Everyone make your own signature spells. The different arts. The arts are the names for the different spell lists right here. Rites, primal, and occult magics. Miracles are divine magic cast through prayers, meditation, or other revelations that channel the essence of creation. Spells are arcane magics, right? So, if I was to gain proficiency, or rather aptitude, with, like, Bless, what this means is that I can cast Bless on my turn to either do this manifest effect, this is like I can create some holy water, or, and I've thought about changing this one over to, like, the 1d12, right? Or sorry, 1d2. Flip a coin if you get a bonus, yeah. Or you can deal holy damage with this for 1d6, right? You can change this to, like, I want a holy bolt. Yep, you can do that. This is supposed to be a flexible type of spell, you know, so you can now customize this to, I know Bless, this is something I can channel, it's a miracle I can channel to Bless. I thought about doing a kind of thing, if I did, like, guidance, I would want it to hit the right guidance note of Guiding Bolt rather than guidance the cantrip. But you see how quick and easy these could be to write, technically? Is there an elemental hierarchy in the system? Isn't the Western style or Eastern style? Wait, what? Isn't the Western style or Eastern style? What? Scrolling up real quick. Damn, elemental hierarchy. I don't know what that means. This damage type is better than this damage type. And something like that? No. There we go. Boom. These are the different damage types in this system. This was at one time one single column. Oh, no. I'm not doing a whole... No. We're not doing the damage type Pokemon thing. No. No, and that kind of an expectation is going to wind up, I would say, limiting potential monster, spell, and class expression. Some systems can absolutely be built around that. That's not really my aim for this one. I'm trying to figure out, because, like, if you get life, I would really hope that you would be able to, like, resurrect somebody with it. But that should require some pretty major investment, you know? So I'm like, okay, if in my system you get a 3rd level spell of, like, quote unquote 3rd level of D&D as, like, as an expert, this would require at least 1 level, 2 levels, and 3 levels to get. Well, you're trained in it, so 1 level, 2 level. You could get it at 2nd level. Maybe that should come later. I mean, I guess I don't mind them getting that 3rd, but, like, again, you're not going to be a fantasy superhero. So you guys, hopefully you can see a little bit more of the magic system, like, kind of what I'm thinking about with that. I personally don't want to bring back fantasy and magic. I'm like, I want this to be a, you know what? All right, so enchanting is going to be how you enhance items. You literally have to, master life to resurrect somebody, which I guess makes sense. Yeah, let's go with mesmerism, not enchantment. The more and more we can get away from D&D, the better.